let's do some watch this jerks. It's a very robust list here.
Yeah, I watched a lot of stuff in the last 2 weeks because I don't know.
You have time.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
My wife and I watched Murder Mystery 2 together, the sequel to the Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler detective epic.
So there was a first one of this. It just wasn't. They just didn't name it Murder Mystery 2.
No, they didn't just name it Murder Mystery 2. There was a Murder Mystery 1.
I can't believe people watch these movies. Why would you watch that? You just like. Let me ask you a question. Forget it. I understand why you'd watch that. Is your wife looking at her phone like throughout the movie?
No, it was her idea.
Oh. But that still could be.
That was her choice.
Was she still looking at her? But you can still answer the question. I feel like it's not that engaging. I bet you're like constantly checking your phone.
Oh, there's definitely some fun. Yeah, it's not a movie you have to sit there and stare at. Right. I didn't hate it.
I'm predicting Rotten Tomatoes 40.
It is less. It is short. It is under 90 minutes long.
I love movies that I don't have to stare at. It's my least favorite thing about movies.
45. Thank you.
Okay.
And the audience score is a 48. That's synergy right there.
It was fine. It was a fine, early evening movie to watch.
Would you agree with a genuinely mediocre sequel to its similarly middling predecessor? Murder Mystery 2 could have been much better and a whole lot worse.
I think what they should have done, but I understand why they didn't, because I'm sure there's licensing.
Show Jennifer Aniston naked.
I mean, you could let me finish the sentence. That would be nice. They allude to the Thin Man franchise, which I know is something that is a long dead franchise, but those are very good movies from the 30s. And
okay.
That's what's going to save. That's what's going to make Murder Mystery 3 the best movie.
No, these movies are a direct play on those films. It's what they're
written
they're
like
doing.
hot garbage.
But written like hot garbage, where they literally could probably take the first Thin Man movie and just remake it with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, which is what they should have done. But they obviously don't want to pay for that for whatever minimal cost it probably is.
Right.
They just don't want to do it. Like the characters.
It might be too soon for a remake of that too.
Yeah, it's only been about 80 years. So they've made remakes of it before too. None of them are as good as the original, but I actually think that Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler do have good chemistry together, and I think that it could work. And it would have been nice if they kind of leaned into it and went for it instead of kind of dancing around that's who these characters are supposed to be. So like their names are similar and their attitudes are similar, but they don't just go for it because, like I said, they don't want to pay to have that be the thing, is my assumption. I don't know.
Is Rob Schneider in this?
No.
Are all of his other friends in this?
No. Not even his weird looking nephew.
Oh, is this one that he's just acting in, or?
He produced it.
Oh.
I think he co-wrote it too.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
I have some medical procedure.
It's not the worst thing I've ever. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I'm not going to say run out and watch it. There you go.
What about Dungeons and Dragons? That's supposed to be good.
I took my son to see that in the theater because he wanted to see it, and so did I.
And you can't watch it at home.
Not yet, no. So we went to a movie theater and saw it on a Saturday morning, matinee prices. And it was cute. We enjoyed it. I liked it. That has a good Rotten Tomato score. It's long. It's a little too long. It's like 2.5 hours long for a movie that should be like an hour 50.
Is there a reference to backstabbing causing double damage?
I don't think so, but there might be, and I could have missed it.
What about pickpocketing?
Yes.
Is there pickpocketing? Okay.
There is yeah.
Talking weapons?
No.
Maybe the sequel. I think sequel, you bring in some talking weapons.
Yeah, you can't do everything in the first one. Right. There's lots of names of places that you'll be like, oh, I know that place.
How do the goblins look?
I don't know if there are.
What?
I'm sure they had goblins in it.
Skeletons?
No skeletons.
Man, what do they go for? What do we got?
Like dragons and the dungeons.
Any doppelgangers?
No, there's mimics. There are mimics.
That's different, though, I think.
I know, and there are the cubes.
Any sirens?
No sirens.
Gelatinous cubes. Okay.
Yeah.
There we
got
go.
Gelatinous cubes.
Okay. I should
They
probably
got-
watch this because I
I
read
think you'll
Monster Manual cover to
I
cover.
think you'll like it. I think you'll like it more at home than in the theater, obviously.
Perfect. That's what I want to hear.
And I saw the problem also is I saw it with a bad theater.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't empty. There was like maybe half full, but like there'd be a joke and I would like laugh and I'd be the only person in the theater laughing.
Oh.
And I'm like, I know it's not a laugh riot. I
That
know it's
never
not the
stops
funniest,
me. That wouldn't even slow me down.
but I'm
It
like,
would embarrass
come
the
on.
fuck out of Shima, though.
I'm like, come on, people. These jokes aren't that bad. Like they're worthy of like a, but it is also like it, when you're the only one who laughs at a joke, you start to be like, is it me? Or
Or are
Is
these
this
people
just-
not high enough?
something. I don't know.
No,
I
you
just was
should
like,
laugh. Maybe sometimes they need a little help, and your laughter may lead them along with you.
That's what I was
But
hoping.
it didn't work.
It didn't work.
And you have a good
No.
laugh too.
Oh no.
That's
I would have
weird.
just been judging him.
Mm.
When
This guy
we
laughing at these jokes, I'm trying to listen.
right, I don't want to miss a word. It's like Shakespeare. How am I going to understand what's going on?
Exactly.
When we saw
yeah.
that Kumail's movie, Big Sick, I was
Yes.
laughing so loud and often that Mrs. Sheepy was like, "You have to stop." She's like, "Can you do that quieter?" I forgot what she said, but I had to adjust my volume. I was hurting her ear. That's what the problem was. I was literally. Sometimes I laugh so loud that I hurt her ears. What else we got here? Who saw Clerks 3? What
I
if you
saw-
want that? Yeah.
I saw Clerks 3. Yeah, why not? I like those movies.
They never
I
look
mean,
right.
Huh?
They never look right when
They
you see
don't
a
look-
clip.
They don't look right.
You know what I mean?
No one in that movie looks right. No, I know exactly
The
what you mean.
production, the look of the production, it just never. Something's always off. It looks
Yeah,
like just some
the
guy
peop-
made
the-
it.
The people in the movies are weird looking. Like, I hate to say it because I know it makes me sound like a dick,
Right.
but you know, when you see Jay and Silent Bob,
Yes.
and Jay has like reconstructed meth face, which he does. He
Right.
has a
Oh.
reconstructed meth face. And it's like,
That's a thing. What? Why? What happens when
Yeah.
you do meth? Your face gets fucked up.
yes,
Like how? Like droopy or something?
it gets droopy and you lose your teeth. So he has all new
That
teeth.
teeth I knew. Okay.
So it's like he just doesn't look right. Like I'm glad that he's recovered and he's in a better place
Right.
now. And I wish him all the success in the world.
Maybe
And
they
I
could have
don't
worked
wanna
that
sound
into the
like an
movie.
asshole.
If they worked that into the story more, maybe that would have been okay. Like in The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Maybe, but it's distracting. And
Right.
I hate that I think that way.
You're so shallow.
I know.
You're always so
But-
all about that vanity.
I am. And I mean it's fine. I don't wanna I don't know. It's fine.
Clerks 1 is a classic.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if we needed to go back,
No, we probably didn't.
but okay. I thought about watching it because it's on something. What's it on?
It's on. I saw it on Stars.
I might have that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw it on Stars. It was okay.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. And again, if you have fond memories of Clerks, it's a nice nostalgia piece. But it's it's
Right.
okay. Mhm.
Is Mark Hamill in it?
No,
Seems a bit of a misstep there, but okay.
I'm sorry.
We all watched the Jason Isbell
Mhm.
documentary called Running with Our Eyes Closed.
Mhm.
A shipwreck's rock and roll friend.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not in the documentary, so
Maybe
It was
not.
during
I
it was
don't know.
during COVID.
well,
I-
not the
I could have
beginning.
been at some of those shows. I don't know.
Oh, you mean in the dark part of the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at one point, he's talking, and someone hands him a water. That ship's hand.
Or it was his water, maybe. That was a pretty well done little documentary, especially someone I have had no really experience to him or his music, only his tweets. A lot of experience on his tweets. Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah,
And-
we talked about it at lunch. So, but
Yeah. No, it's the weird, like it's weird to see like a documentary like that about somebody that I obviously know quite well. So that's the part of it is like, oh yeah, I remember when he looked like this in college, and I remember when these things happened. And
would you say it was a pretty fair representation of him as a person?
Yeah, I think he's much funnier than the documentary presents him as. There's not a lot of humor in the documentary, I would say.
No.
There's some, like, you get some of his humor in there.
You get his wit. I don't know that you get much, too much humor.
Yeah, like it's
that's probably on the floor, the cutting room floor.
It doesn't paint him as being a jovial guy, that's for sure.
Right, which, I mean, he is a very funny individual, but also, as the documentary points out, like, he's gone through some stuff in his life, and
he's pretty serious.
And he's pretty serious as well. Like,
he could have taken quarantine better. I still stand by that.
He was fine. When you said that he was complaining about quarantine, that was before I watched the second half of the movie, because Shipwreck watched it at my house and I had to go to bed after the first half. Not because it was boring. I just passed my bedtime.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear. I mean, he was complaining about not performing for people because that's what he does.
He was complaining that he couldn't take it anymore, and that it was too much, and that if he didn't have his family there, he would go back to drinking because that's how hard the quarantine was for him. He's
a recovering alcoholic.
I didn't think there was anything that could even be resembling.
I'm just saying, like, it's like, I get it. It's tough for everybody.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying it's especially tough.
No, that is 100%. He's saying it's especially tough for him, but he also lives on this giant estate with land and animals and sunshine and creature comforts. Yeah. It's not a bad take.
Very bad take.
It's a bad take.
It's a bad take.
It's a little whiny and entitled.
You go back and watch that, and
I did watch it. Shipwreck's not going to agree with me because I'm talking shit about his friend, but it.
It's not only that. It's just
It was a weird.
I just think that he could. He made it through. It's not like he didn't. I'm just saying there were parts in the documentary. Maybe it's in the editing where he came off a little bit whiny about being stuck in quarantine when he has it significantly better than about 98% of the population.
You can still struggle emotionally even if you've done well for yourself.
Yes, but I feel like he lacked a little bit of perspective.
I don't think he did, because I also know that he had close friends that died due to COVID.
I don't know. I then blame the editors.
But I don't think anything that he said was like considered excessive or complaining. Like
he did. He complained the whole as soon as the quarantine part starts. Right. He does nothing but complain about being stuck.
Well, I'm sure they asked him questions about it, but like, I've heard very similar responses from other musicians who are basically saying, my whole life is performing in front of people, and it's how I cope with, my past and how I stay sane, and I can't do what makes me normal, basically, or makes me whole. And so that is hard for me.
I don't know. I went through the same quarantine he did, and I think he was
but you were still able to do your job the same way, basically, and even in a more convenient way.
He was fine.
Well, he didn't say he wasn't fine. He just saying he was having a tough time because he couldn't perform for people, which is what he does to basically, literally survive and, mentally and to make money, I feel. All I'm saying is I heard other musicians say the same thing on Howard. Like,
that's
when they were
fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Also, the documentary, I think, the documentary needed some sort of epilogue, a post-quarantine epilogue, because the documentary ends with it still being in quarantine, and there's no resolution on all of the struggles that he's going through with him and his wife and how the quarantine was impacting them. And we as an audience, don't get closure in the documentary. And that is the failure of that documentary.
Damn, holy shit. Damn, what did this documentary do to you?
I'm just saying, you can't build
How did it hurt you?
The documentary literally builds up a storyline. It has a dramatic arc where there's the movie,
it's probably still unresolved. Their relationship is probably still rocky.
No, it's not right.
Well, not right now, but wait till the next.
That's what I mean. Like there is, because especially when like
well,
Shipwreck says
some of that's not in order in the documentary though, too. Like they've got some of the happier parts midstream on that documentary that happened after COVID.
Then yeah, it's especially since if they had the footage, because it starts with them in the studio and they're not getting along, and then it goes with them in quarantine where they're basically stuck together and learning about each other again for all intents and purposes. And then there's supposed to be a third act, even if it was 5 minutes of, and now quarantine's over and we're back on the road again, we're back in the studio and this is how we are. Some sort of wrap up, because that does exist. It didn't end like we're not in quarantine now. It ends with it being 2 years ago, and it just kind of leaves you hanging there. And
Running with our eyes open is the next one.
I don't like that structure in a documentary that's supposed to be telling a complete story.
I think they would have had to have gone back and reshot some things, right? I think this was likely in the can for a while because it's about the making of his last album, and he's getting ready to put out his new album now.
It just even a wall of text. Then don't shoot something. Put up something else that says, and then Jason went on tour and everything was great.
Jason Isbell returned to his home planet.
To his home planet. Yeah, exactly. just give me something.
All right, I'll let him know.
Because the ending of the documentary was kind of shitty.
Man, you really did not like watching him say he was having a bad time during the quarantine.
No, I do think he
did
overreacted.
Not like it. I think you overreacted with that. I mean, I didn't, because I was looking for it when you said something. I was like, shit, because you were upset about it during lunch. And when I watched it that night, I was like, whoa, I feel like I didn't catch that. Anyway, we talked about enough. We all watched the Tetris movie too, right? Or did we talk about that?
I didn't watch it.
Wait, you didn't watch the Tetris?
Oh, you should.
No.
I think you would like it. It's
I
good.
watched
Murder Mystery 2 and Clerks 3.
When I watch things that my wife wants to watch, I watch the things that my wife
She would have liked Tetris.
She would.
Yeah.
I watched
it. It's a hard sell, though.
Really? It's well done. It's like a real movie. With real acting.
I understand. I'm sure it's very good.
For video game movies, it's really like one of the best, for sure.
Not a lot of video games in it.
I mean, for movies based on about video games. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. I thought it was the story was very interesting, and I didn't know that story. And it was
you didn't
well
know about
done.
The car chase.
The car chase. Look, I mean, movies have to make movies based on real events have to embellish them. At least they feel like they have to embellish.
That was the third
events.
act. They had that third act that they had to have. That was the car chase.
Like I told you, Argo did the same thing. The movie Argo with Ben Affleck. They added a car chase at the end.
Yeah, I think the only thing about that movie, like the 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever the video game special effects that they would sprinkle in from time to time.
Yes.
I was just like, I could do without a lot of this in here. This is just like
distracting.
Reminding us. Yeah, it's just distracting. It was just like
this is reminding us that we're watching this on Apple TV. Is that what it was?
Yeah. No, that's what it felt like. It was like, okay, they had a little bit of budget to spend on special effects and they were going to spend it.
Little being the key word.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind it except for the aforementioned car chase. I felt like that was a bad decision. We didn't need as a little transitions and stuff and highlights. It's okay, but like, let's not incorporate into our one action scene. All right, what else we got here? TV. Both Wombat and I watched Waco American Apocalypse.
You had already talked about it.
Yes, that is true.
So I watched it. I watched something that you recommended.
Yes.
I thought that you would appreciate that.
Yes. Did you like it? That's what I'm waiting to hear. I did like it. Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned a few things about it that I didn't know.
Yes.
That whole thing, what a disaster.
Right.
Without
spoiling anything.
Tragic.
Yeah.
What a tragic moment in American history.
Without spoiling anything, because I feel like people should go in, even if they think they know what they know, they should, if they're going to go through watching 3 episods of this, they should not hear like plot points. Did your opinion change about how the government handled the situation after watching the documentary?
It's funny. I don't know if I had a real opinion about it beforehand. Like, I don't. Okay. Like, I'm not like a Waco expert.
Okay. Without giving away anything specific, if you had to, if like on a sliding scale where you're placing the blame on the event, One end is the Branch Davidians, and the other end is the FBI or whomever. Where would you put that marker, blame marker?
I don't think it's that easy to even say that.
See,
it's
that's
really,
good.
it's not. You can't give it a definitive answer.
So 50 is what you're saying, right in the middle.
It might be right in the middle because I think there's.
Don't give anything away, though, please.
Well, I'm not giving anything away.
Okay.
I'm saying there's government mistakes in the beginning.
Okay.
But the end.
It's so tragic. Yeah, that's why you kept saying, it's
the end isn't the government.
Right. But
and
you appreciate seeing like the interviews with the people who were actually there, who survived.
Those nut jobs, yeah. The surviving nuts.
And the surviving nuts who got to listen to like things they've never heard before that happened there and seen things that they've never seen before. Pretty cool.
I felt really bad for the girl.
Yeah. I feel bad for everybody. Really, anyway.
Everyone involved you feel bad for, except for the creepy sniper dude.
I mean, I even felt bad for him, like that he has to kill people for a living. That was Netflix, right? Waco, American Apocalypse. It's pretty well done.
That guy has definitely been affected by his job.
I mean, he's fucking killing people from like so far away. And
I'll tell you this much, though, he probably didn't handle the quarantine well either. So
I can't kill anybody. God damn. I think he's retired.
Yeah.
I feel like he's retired.
It doesn't mean he stopped killing people.
What else are we watching?
I've watched enough movies. I know how that works.
Right.
I watched a little bit of Shrinking on Apple TV. That's the Jason Segel, Harrison Ford sitcom. It's very good. It's worth your time.
Is it funny?
It is funny.
Am I going to laugh out loud?
Yes, it is part of a trend of shows lately that I find probably a bit of a weird trend where the protagonist has it's in the first episode. I'm not giving anything away. The dead wife protagonist. What's the show? The Adam Scott show, Severance. That's another a dead wife show. And then you go and now here's another dead wife show.
Right.
It's funny, but it's interesting.
Cheating. It's cheating.
It's like cheating.
Instant get to your heart.
And then I also watched Unstable, which is the show that Rob Lowe does, the sitcom. It's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I watched the little trailer for that. It's
really good. It's got Rob Lowe and his son, and they're in it together. And Rob Lowe plays like a eccentric billionaire. And guess what he has?
Dead wife.
That's
why I didn't watch it. I figured that out in the trailer.
Protagonist. I think that we need to put a moratorium on the dead wife.
Yes. How about what could they have substituted something else in the Rob Lowe show instead of a dead wife? Like he could have been suffering through something else.
It could have been, or not suffering through anything. Maybe the wife left him. Maybe
he's not suffering that much.
Yeah, like maybe his wife just lives in New York and he lives in California, and the son has just been there for a while, and he wants his son to come back because his son's an adult, and it's not like they're not fighting over. It wouldn't be fighting over custody. Right. It would just be about spending time with his dad and joining the family business. It would literally be the same thing.
Right, but he has to cry every once in a while on this.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shrinking. It's like, oh man, everything's great. Oh, that ice cream cone reminds me of my dead wife. Nervous breakdown.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's like I get it. I'm not belittling.
People like it.
I'm belittling it in a sitcom situation only, not in a reality situation. But yeah.
I watched the first couple episodes of Dave. That's the Little Dicky series. Have you checked that out? It's very funny. I don't know anything about Little Dicky, but I was just looking for something funny, and it looked like it was going to be funny. And guess what? It was very funny. And in news, they're going to make a Harry Potter TV show.
That's nice.
But it's not HBO Max anymore.
It's just on Max.
It's just called Max now. I learned.
Yeah, they cut off the first half. I heard Peacock's doing the same thing with their name.
That's good. Did you write that ahead of time?
I should have.
You just came up with that right now?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Shipwreck, what'd you think?
It's super dank.
Oh, good.